Perfect. Oh,
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be any private recording.
yeah.
So I just want to let everybody know. Okay, maybe we can get started. And if anybody can come on to video, please come on video. Initially, it was actually disabled, but it will be now everybody should be able to unmute and come on video. And if you're new to Boston Study Group, you have never attended any lecture, we would appreciate to just drop an introduction of yourself in the chat. Okay.
Venkat,
But
can
we'll
I,
start.
this is
Yeah.
Chinnaya. Can I just say something before you go?
Yeah, please.
Uh,
Welcome,
no
Chinnaya.
problem.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you guys are monitoring, right? Who is joining the group? If
Yes,
not,
yes, yes.
so
I know.
yeah.
We are aware of all that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes. So,
That's why I
okay.
suggested to everyone who has not identified themselves with the name and just put the phone number or some admin or some vague names. Please put your name in the chat in the your participant's name so that it will help us to understand who are joining. This is
Yeah, I
from the
think
security
if you're
measures.
like
We wanted
somebody joined
to.
with Samsung, RDD, because we have these are sensitive meetings, and some of these miscreants are trying to disturb some. It happened in the past, so just for everybody's sake, I would appreciate if you have a like the Samsung phone. If you can rename yourself, that
Yeah,
would be
like that,
helpful,
there
or
are a
just
lot of
drop in the
things
chat
are there.
box
Just
your
yeah,
name
phone
and
number.
where are you from. It will be helpful. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, we know just about everybody, but sometimes it happened. This, our there are a lot of ideological enemies trying their best to scuttle everything, and we had also bad experiences in our in the past meetings. So just want to be careful. But anyway, Jai Bhim, everyone. It's in the US. I know it's 10 a.m., but been a very cold day today, and I don't know how many of you are follow football, but today is a big day, Super Bowl, and we are New England Patriots are playing Super Bowl, so we are all excited. So that's also going on, and then in the West Coast, it's very early. If anybody joined, I really, really appreciate them. But yeah, welcome to Boston Study Group. For those who didn't know much about Boston Study Group, we are an Ambedkar organization based, in the New England area, north of New York, and we have been in existence for more than 10 years, and we basically organize these type of discussions, lectures, and a conference at anti-caste and social justice. Those are important things that we advocate and work for. And we have a very diverse group of people as our members from all over India to even some of the non-Indians also are big supporters of our organization in the Boston area. With that, I'm very, very honored to invite Professor Thoratji, Professor Thorat, and I think many of you know, probably it doesn't need introduction, but those who don't know all of it, he's been a professor at JNU for a longest time, and after retiring, he became a professor, chairman of University Grants Commission, and then he was also chairman of Indian Council of Social Sciences Research. And then he's now a professor emeritus at JNU, and he's also found Indian Institute of Dalit Studies, who he has been the chairman. And Professor Thoraji has actually uh, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to say the age, but he's retired a long time back, but very active in our, especially related to any social justice and issues on Dalits and all that. He's been writing, researching, advocating in all the forums. So, and as a is actually for this discussion today, some of you might be following. The BJP government brought out new UGC guidelines. They call our regulations, which is basically trying to protect SC/STs, and this time they've included OBCs also against caste discrimination in higher education, especially. And these Savarnas are basically started protesting, and they have friends all over the place. So they approached the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court swiftly, it takes years together to give one simple hearing for genuine cases. Like you all know, people like Omar Khalid, they have been just sitting in the jail for no reason. But these type of cases, they find time, they act, and they put a temporary stay order. And Professor Thoratji, actually, there's no better authority on this subject than Thoratji, because Thoratji was, as a UGC chairman, he was the first one issued guidelines back in 2012, actually. Right, sir? 2012. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was initiated by the UPA government, and those guidelines have been in place. And now, I mean, what I understood, what I read, in fact, they've included OBC, but they have actually diluted in lot of clauses. Uh, and of course, the 2012, we didn't hear much resistance. Uh, I mean, the atmosphere has changed dramatically in the last 10 years with this BJP rule. So these, how do you call the oppressive caste? I mean, oppressor castes have become more brazen, and they want to take all our rights and nullify the guarantees in the constitution. So even a basic thing as caste discrimination, they want to protest. This is the problem. So anyway, with that, so Professor Thoratji has a long history of working with UGC and these guidelines and regulation. So I would request him to actually uh, throw some light on actually what these new regulations mean, and what is happening. So I would like him to explain, and then we can have a question and answer session. And just for everybody, we are not doing this live anywhere. We are not, I mean, we're recording, but it's a private recording. So we can have an
Yes.
open discussion, okay? Yeah. So with that, Professor Thoratji, please, you are muted, Thoratji. Let me.
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome. And again, one other thing, Professor Thoratji has been a very big supporter of Boston Study Group, and with his actually efforts, we were able to start, if anybody knows, the conference at Brandeis, the Unfinished Legacy of Ambedkar, which is now grown to 2.5 days of academic conference with close to 100 presentations from all over the world. And that is actually because of Professor Thorat's work with Brandeis University, Professor Larry Simon. He initiated. So we that has now we have hosted that 6 times actually, Brandeis and other universities, UMass and New School. So we give I mean, it's a lot of credit to Professor Thoratji's efforts. So he's a dear friend. BSG and Thoratji goes long time back, and we are very, very honored to work with him. Welcome, Thoratji.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this discussion with the Boston Study Group, with which I have a personal relation and friendship with
Yeah.
many of you. You and I remember visiting your home.
Yeah, thank you. No, we have all the good team. Sanjay ji, Hemant, Swaroop. We have a wonderful team,
It began with Sanjay Bhagat.
Yeah,
He is an extremely active person, and
right,
we intimately connected.
right.
Well, I'm happy that you are keeping track of what is going on here.
We have to.
Yeah, and want to know more about it. So I will share with you the genesis of the whole thing so
Yeah.
that you can understand and we can have then discussion. Uh, the present regulation 2026 uh, by the UGC for promoting equity on the higher education campuses is nothing but a sort of revised version of 2012 regulation. 2012 regulation was brought out by UPA government, and they have been in practice for the last 11 years. And now the somewhat improved form they have brought out 2026 regulation, which is taken by a section of the people, and the Supreme Court responded positively and kept the 2006 regulation in abeyance. But under a special decision, it allowed to continue the 2012 regulation till the 26 regulations are finalized. So that's the issue, and I would like to go back into the history and share with you how this 2012 regulation came into being. See, we have in our constitution, under Article 14, there is a provision that nobody will discriminate it based on caste, creed, gender, race, color, origin of the place. And then in Article 17, we also ban untouchability and make it a punishable offense. Now, these are the provision in the Constitution, but those provision have to be converted into regulations to provide a safeguard and to bring changes. So, some of you might be knowing that the Article 17, which prohibit untouchability, resulted into the in 1954 into the Untouchability Offence Act, and which was renamed as a Protection of Civil Rights Act later on. Another act was enacted, that was Prevention of Atrocity. So the provision in the Constitution in Article 17 was given a legal shape to provide a safeguard to the scheduled castes if there are violations, if they are discriminated. Now, the limitation of Protection of Civil Rights Act and the atrocity is that they cover the whole gamut of social relationship between the high caste and the scheduled caste, and list the behavior which will constitute discrimination, and then some follow punishment, civil punishment and action. But it doesn't really talk about education. There is only one provision which is mentioned that if there is a discrimination in admission to the higher education institution or school because of the caste, it will amount to a discrimination and subject to a legal action. Now, this is the reason. Now, when I was chairman of University Grant Commission during 2006 and 12, during that time and even prior to that, it emerged that there was a series of discrimination report and information on the higher education campuses. There was a general feeling that they have not included discrimination in education institution in greater detail, simply because they thought that these are education institutions and where there are sensible people and they won't practice discrimination. But they didn't realize that that is not the case. So because of a series of discrimination cases and some of the discrimination being of a severe nature resulted into suicide. So that was the background. It so happened that in 2008, 7 and 8, there were two suicides in the All India Institute of Medical Science, Delhi, and the principal secretary of Ministry of Welfare and Family Planning, Health and Family Planning, approached me that they intend to set up a committee to look into the reason as to why the suicide were done and what is the background, and I should chair that committee. So I agreed to chair. I did a survey and brought out a report. To cut the story short, and that report revealed the immense discrimination being faced by scheduled caste and scheduled tribe student, by the teacher, by the high caste student, and even sometime by the administrator. And discrimination is in the classroom, in the teaching, in the laboratories, in evaluation, particularly in social function, in dining hall, and even the hostels. So I'm not going into get a detail. Those who are interested, go to Google and type Thorat committee report. You will get that report. So that that resulted into certain policies by the All India Institute of Medical Science. But there was an attempt on the part of the UGC to have a regulation. But it was going slowly. Then again, one or two suicide happened. One in JNU, another in I think IIT Delhi. And by that time, my term was over. But then the process had began. But then, when Kapil Sibal, he was a man from law background, and he was made education minister. He really summoned the UGC and asked them to prepare this regulation, and I was asked to prepare the rough draft. So I prepare and give it to them. That is how this 2000 regulation came. So 2000 regulation came because of the evidence of caste discrimination on the higher education campuses, and to prevent that, the 2012 regulation came. I will briefly mention what this 2000 regulation include. It include the name is the promoting equity on higher education institution, and the goal is to sort of provide a legal safeguard to those students who face discrimination, and follow civil punishment to those who practice discrimination. So one way is to control discrimination was a legal safeguard. The another strategy was included in that is to sensitize the people, student, particularly those who come from who take admission and who come with those caste prejudices, how to sensitize through workshop, through discussion, through posterization. So this is a second strategy that is proposed in that. Then there is a administrative setup, what is called equal opportunity cell, which is headed by one professor, and this is headed by the equal opportunity officer or anti-discrimination officer. So whenever there is an incident, student can lodge a complaint, submit the complaint to the equal opportunity officer. He will look into it and recommend the action to the head of the institution. That is the administrative mechanism. One of the important points of this 2000 regulation is that it lists the forms of discrimination, which run into about 25 or 26, which constitute discrimination. What kind of behavior of the high caste student and teacher will constitute discrimination, which will make them eligible for action. So this is the background of the 2012 regulation, which has been in practice for 11 years. Now, how did the 2026 regulation came in? In 2017, there was a famous case, of suicide by Vemula, which has attracted the attention at all India level, and it became a main issue. And then it was followed by another suicide in Mumbai in 2019 by Payal Tagdi.
Medical doctor.
Medical college. It was again followed by another suicide in IIT Mumbai by Solunke. So this between 17 to 23, this all atmosphere was very, very disturbing. Therefore, in 2019, the mother of Vemula and Payal Tagdi went to the Supreme Court, asking the Supreme Court's intervention that despite the 2012 regulation, caste discrimination is happening, which is resulting into the suicide. So the Supreme Court should guide and should enforce the UGC that they implement it properly and also bring improvement. So on behalf of these two mothers, Disha Wadekar and Indira Jai Singh, these two, she is a very senior lawyer. They argued the case, and Supreme Court then summoned the UGC and asked them give us the status of implementation. As to how many education institution have set up this equal opportunity cell and functioning. So there UGC wrote a letter to all the education institution, and they came to know that about half of the education institution had set up, other half did not, and that there were not very many complaints. So whatever complaint they used to get, they would pass it on to the counselor. There is not follow-up action as such. So they reported to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court then asked them to strengthen the enforcement. At that time, University Grant Commission indicated that we are revising the 2012 regulation, strengthening and improving them. And that is how in December 2025, they brought the revised regulation placed before the people on their website, and finally they brought into the Gazette in January 2026. That is how the 2026 regulation came. This was a result of the petition filed by these two mothers to improve the implementation of 2012 regulation. Now UGC, instead of sort of strengthening it, and they brought another regulation, improved regulation, made some changes. Now there are several limitations. I have written a couple of articles on them. But whatever the limitations are, even those 2006 regulation were did not entertained by the general student, and they opposed it, and they asked to withdraw and all that. So 3 lawyers on behalf of the agitator went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court then took immediate. So quickly Supreme Court has reacted, although the agitation were confined only to northern India and all that. But anyway, they said that they will look into this regulation. They agreed with some of the points raised by the petitioner, that it is vague and it might lead to misuse of it. So they say that they will set up a committee of judges who will look into the 2006 regulation and improve upon it. So they have kept 19th of March 2006 a case for a hearing for discussion. Now they are arguing that 2-3 objections are important that they have agreed to, and these 2-3 objections by the agitators are as follow, to which Supreme Court has also slightly given a positive consent. One, the discrimination. And the 2012 regulation take the definition of Human Rights Charter, UN Human Rights Act, wherein they define the discrimination in a particular way, that you are discriminated, differentiated behavior, exclusion, and all that. So there is a general definition. Now we must understand that 2006 regulation, 2026 regulation, as well as 2012 regulation doesn't talk of discrimination based on caste alone, but it includes gender, race, color, physically handicap, the discrimination associates with all these identities. Now, in the 2006 regulation as well as 2012 regulation, there is a general provision of discrimination, but they also separately mention the caste discrimination of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and OBC separately, and also general. Now, their objection, one of the major objection of this petitioner and this young youth is that why you are mentioning caste separately, which means it can be included in the general definition of the discrimination and it will take care of. They say that if mentioning the caste discrimination, it means that there is a reflection on us that we are the discriminator and we are excluded. And there may be a false complaint, there may be, we also get discriminated, our discrimination is not taken into account. Then they say that because you are talking of caste discrimination and focusing on the SC, ST, OBC and not high caste, it means that only high caste practice discrimination, there will be divide on the campus. higher education campus. There will be divide, there will be misuse of it, false cases, and they will be subject to sort of harassment. So their suggestion was that you take out the caste clause and include, it is already included in the general definition. That is one point is there. The second is that the high caste should also be mentioned at one of the discriminating group, who will face discrimination. So these are the major criticism. There are other criticism that ragging should be included and all that, but that's not the major criticism. The major criticism is this. Now, this criticism is not valid, and it doesn't have sound theoretical and empirical grounding. The point is that there is other defect of the 2006 regulation, which I forgot. That 2012 regulation lists the forms of discrimination, about 25 of them. But 2006 regulation has taken out it completely. And it has left to the equity committee. A university or a college will set up an equity committee, and equity committee will list the forms of discrimination. Now, this is very funny kind of suggestion. The forms of discriminations are mentioned in Untouchability Offence Act, Atrocity Act, and also this 2012 regulation. And it is very difficult job to identify which are the behavior which are considered to be discriminatory. It took so many, a lot of effort on the part of government to list the forms of discrimination. Now they are saying that you leave it to the equity committee. Now each institution will draw a list. Some may include some behavior, other may include other behavior, and there might be a lot of legal complications. So that is another limitation of the 2006. But what is important is that the main point of petitioner is that take out a caste clause, include it in the general, and also their name should be included, high caste name should be included, that if they suffer from discrimination, there should be action. Now, these are not based on proper argument, because this act is so liberal that it not only talk of discrimination of, say, high caste, is not mentioned. High caste is not mentioned, but assuming that it talks of discrimination of high caste, it also includes that if scheduled caste and scheduled tribe discriminate against the physically handicapped or with women, they will also be subject to punishment. So the provision in the act is such that all are considered all are included, and if there is a discrimination against anybody, there is a provision for discrimination. So this argument that the high caste will be targeted and false complaint, this is motivated by the ideology and politics, not by the real fact. The false complaint argument is baseless. This 2012 regulation has been in practice for the last 11 years. There is not a single case of false case being lodged by the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Besides, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe are so poor and weak in the education institution. Why should they unnecessarily indulge into filing a false case? So this is also a very unreasonable argument, as a matter of fact. And so these are some of these. The basic point, my understanding of this is that there has been a tendency for last 10 years not to bring out the wrong practices in our society and wrong system in our society. And caste system and untouchability is one, which are untouchability is particularly ugly kind of a social system, so they don't want to bring it in front, and that's the reason. In my opinion, it's an ideological consideration for which they are opposing. There are obviously, I had a press conference. I made certain suggestion that 2026 regulations should be strengthened, their limitations should be taken out, and that should be implemented. Caste should mention a separate category in addition to general category, and the 26 regulation, there are certain limitations. That is, the list should also be included in the Act, forms of discrimination, and there are other minor recommendations. With those recommendations and strengthening, this Act should be implemented and brought in. So this is the sort of a brief summary of what is going on. On 29 or 19 March, when this will come for hearing, we'll get to know what is the course of action. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Thoratji, for giving that good introduction to what is happening and the background of all this. So, I mean, if anybody has a question, you can raise the hand, and you can also type in the chat room. But let me ask. So, Thoratji, there is no, I mean, what this has been done is more like a guidelines and regulation, right? But it is, I mean, there are laws are existing for caste discrimination, right? Especially SC/ST Atrocities Act is a very powerful act, okay?
Yeah.
So these regulations and, is not a law, but they're suggesting that you need to set up certain whatever these SCST cell to maybe now OBC cell, and you need to have a mechanism to address these, or you need to have a committee and all this, right? So this is like reinforcing the laws already we exist, but some procedural manner, right? How it can be handled within an institution before it goes outside the institution, and basically becomes, you approach the court and police, right? So can you give a little bit clarity on, because I was struggling, because we have laws of against caste discrimination. So above and beyond that, what these regulations actually achieve. So could you please a little bit throw light on that, please?
Yeah, this is a good question.
Yeah.
The point is, I have told you that we have two laws.
Yeah.
The Untouchability Offence Act,
Correct.
which is renamed as a Protection of Civil Rights Act, was enacted simply because whenever the scheduled caste will try to get equal right, access to well or access to temple and all that, they will face the violence, and therefore Atrocity Act was brought in. But the limitation of Atrocity and Untouchability Offence Act is that it does not include the specific forms of discrimination which have been observed for last 30 years or so in higher education and institutions. So there is no scope there. Scope. Of course, you can file a case, but it is a matter of interpretation. If you look at the Protection of Civil Rights Act and Atrocity Act, they in fact specify the forms of relationship, the incidents. You are not allowed to drive on the sit on the horse. You are not allowed to, all kind of detailed forms of discriminations are given, but you don't find anything about education. And education is a sort of a different thing. It is not a access to well or access to water or access to temple. It's a relationship between the teacher and the student, and it has a social behavioral aspect. Therefore, this act does not cover. Therefore, there was a necessity to have a separate regulation. It's not an act. These are regulations, but regulations are also important in the sense that they have a provision for a civil punishment, rustication of the student, discontinuation, studentship, fine, and all that. But in fact, 2026 regulation has also made a provision for criminal act. That if somebody make a complaint, and if the Equal Opportunity Equity Committee found that there is a criminal violation there, they can refer the case to the police. So I think this regulation is very strong if it's implemented. This regulation is provide for a civil punishment to the student, and which is civil punishment is severe. If the student come and join the institution, his studentship may go. He may be discontinued for a semester or so. So I think to address the specific problem of discrimination in the higher education institution, this regulation has been brought. We have other regulation. For example, for sexual harassment, we have regulation, and that doesn't cover into the General Gender Act. So because they have specified there sexual harassment, that what kind of verbal saying and abuse and word will constitute sexual harassment and all that. Similarly for handicapped, so for each of the type of discrimination and group, you have a separate regulation. Therefore these regulations are necessary.
Got it. Got it. No. And the other thing is, lately, I mean, of course, this happens. A lot of people know this. Students is one thing, but faculty has been harassed as well. And we have cases in IIM Bangalore and, other places. I think even in IIT Madras, Chennai. So I am assuming this regulation covers the faculty as well, right? Sir?
No, this regulation cover faculty, but not as much as the student
Okay.
cover, because I think teacher discrimination can be covered under the Atrocity Act as well as the Protection of Civil Rights Act.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another.
But
Yeah.
there is also provision here, but not as much. It is basically focused on the student. Teachers' relation with the student relation with the student, and administration relation with the scheduled caste student, and general behavior on the campus, in social relation, hostels, and other sphere.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you. So yeah, we can open up for questions. I think some people type, but let me go with Dr. Nitin Datkode. You raised hand earlier first. I think you want to go first.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you give quick introduction? Not too much, but it'll help the context. Please go ahead.
Yes. Thank you. My name is Nitin. We met Sir in 2017 when we called Sir for the AML, Ambedkar Memorial Lecture in TISS, TIS Mumbai.
TIS Mumbai. You are at TIS Mumbai?
Yeah, I was in TIS Mumbai. Now I'm in America. I'm in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Oh, wonderful. What are you doing? Just quick introduction. That's all. Then
I'm
you can
writing
ask.
my book. I'm working on a book.
Okay, great. So you can ask the question, comment, please go ahead.
So thank you. That question I was raising about the faculty, and there's a lack in that because there are a lot of cases about faculty. Couple of more questions, sir. There was Mungekar committee was also introduced in 2012. So how those your committee and Mungekar committee was a different one. Second, was there any provisions for who will be heading the committee? A, B, that there is equal opportunity sale, there is liaison officer. Liaison officers are generally from the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe background, but equal opportunity sale has been introduced. So sometimes that has also been found that not from the reserve category person heading the sale, equal opportunity sale. So your take on that, so these two questions.
See, the after publication of my committee, there were other cases of discrimination that were observed and brought out in the Vardhaman Medical College, in the Subdurjan hospital attached to Subdurjan Hospital. In All India Institute of Medical Science is on the right side of the left side of the road, and right side is the Subdurjan Hospital, and there is a college attached to it. It is called Vardhaman House College now. So there were cases of discrimination. So then Mungekar was the member of the planning commission so far to inquire into that discrimination in that college. They appointed Mungekar committee. So that also Mungekar committee also came with a more or less similar observation. So that is one thing. Second thing, could you ask me the second question again?
Equal opportunity sale head who is
equal opportunity sale. See, the administrative mechanism has been laid down in the regulation 2012 regulation. This is 2026 regulation that there will be equity committee, And this equity committee is the whole soul committee which will entertain the complaint, which will inquire into the case and make recommendation to the head of the institute. And the equity committee consists of 10 persons. The head of the institute is the chairman, and then there are 3 nominated senior faculty. There are 2 students. Then there are civil society organizations representative. So that is how the committee is. It's a different section. Members are drawn from different section. I have suggested, and there's a problem with this committee in the sense that this committee is headed by the head of the institution, which is not correct, because this committee will inquire into it and make recommendation, and the same vice chancellor will take the final decision. That's not done. The inquiry committee is always different than the head of the institution, who will recommend or suggest or take final decision on punishment. So there is a recommendation, our recommendation, that the head of the institution should not be the head of the committee.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So Rajesh Sonekar, you want to, if you can come on video, it will be good. Rajesh Sonekar, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Rajesh? Okay. I know.
Venkat, can we take the questions which are on the chat box, because they posted it before the other speakers read
That's
them?
fine. Yeah, you can read the questions. Yeah.
Okay.
We can take one.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, I think we'll go next. Rajesh, go ahead quickly. Yeah, please.
Yeah, hi. Actually, this was a question regarding the regulations, and as mentioned, these are only available, I think, in the government institutes. What about the private institutes which have been flourished? And it's not there at all, whatever committees you are speaking. And when the case specifically to the Supreme Court is about a discrimination, about SC, about the SC caste-based discrimination which led to the death of this. Why again this question of not including caste, and these things are coming, and how can Supreme Court just go by this agitation by general students? These are very two contradictory things, and I think there is a mess up, or it's not been taken properly in the purview of this regulation itself, or the argument. How do we see?
Yeah.
How do we? Yeah, sorry.
Taking your second question first. No, it is not that they are excluding caste. Caste is included under the general definition of the discrimination. So there it means discrimination with caste, gender, race, religion, color, physically handicapped. So caste is included under the discrimination. But 2026 regulation as well as 2012 regulation, beside including caste under a general definition of discrimination, they specifically, separately, they have a separate clause of caste discrimination of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and OBC. They not only mention caste discrimination, but they identify the group. So it is included. That you must
Actually,
understand.
the committees, 2 committees have made the recommendation, and this 2 committees cases were totally involved on caste, specific caste, or SC/ST discrimination. So if they want to go strengthen it, then of course it has to be included. It's not only the general term caste now remains, because the 2 committees have found.
Yeah, that's what we are arguing. The reason that I have argued into 1 or 2 articles is this, that the nature of caste discrimination is very unique, and it is different from the discrimination associated with gender, race, or color. It's even Supreme Court has said that the crime associated with untouchability is different from the crime under the Indian Penal Code. And these forms of discrimination are behavioral in nature. They involve humiliation, contempt, They are very mean behavior by the high caste, calling them quota student, calling them government jawais. And there are other which has come into the report by survey by the IIT Mumbai. They are so vulgar that I don't have a courage to share with you the behavior of the high caste. So, so if you look at the forms of the discrimination based on untouchability, you're not even allowing to have a mustaches, not allowing to you wear the good clothes, not allowing to ride on the horse as a bridegroom. So the nature of discrimination is in untouchability is very intense, very mean, very humiliating, undermine dignity. That's not the case with the other forms of discrimination like gender or race or other. So therefore, there is a need to mention separately caste discrimination of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and OBC. Now, the fact that since it is the high caste student which practice, they think that they have been highlighted, they have been pointed out separately. That is the pain. But I think the argument of the lawyer and our argument is that caste should be, in addition to mention in the general provision, it should be mentioned separately.
And second point is also important because in the private sector, it's
Yeah.
absolutely null. It's nil. Yeah.
No. There is a confusion there, please. The point is, I have written on this. In the both the act, they say that this apply to all higher education institutions,
All.
public or private. Okay, at one place.
Mm.
But at the other place, it define higher education institution which comes under the section 3 of the University Grant Commission. Now, section 3 in the University Grant Commission means uh, all those university, public and private, all those colleges, public and private, which are listed by the UGC under a particular article called 2F. Now, this means if they are including the institution under the jurisdiction of the UGC, there are IITs which are not under the jurisdiction of the UGC. They are established under IIT Act of 1961. There are management institutions which are set up under the Management Act of 2017. And similarly, standalone institutions are with the All India Council of Technical Education. So there has to be a clarity. Therefore, I have suggested that this regulation should be not by the UGC, not by the Ministry of Education, but by the central government, which applicable to all the education institution comes under any university. For example, National Defense Academy in Pune comes under the Ministry of Defense. There are education institution under the Ministry of Home. So the regulation should be brought out by the central government and not by one particular ministry.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh, for asking that question. Sanjay, you want to read
Yeah,
this?
so I believe Gagarin has put the two questions. Gagarin, do you want to ask these questions?
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. In fact, I am not opening video because connection is not very good.
That's
Okay,
fine.
that's
Just
okay.
quickly ask if you can introduce, if you may, that would help everybody.
Yeah.
Quick.
I am Gagarin, a retired civil servant. In fact, first and foremost, I'd like to thank Professor Sir. He agreed to speak on the same subject on 28th February. We are having an public policy portal, Anek Dhara. So we requested Sir, and then he
No,
graciously
please
agreed.
introduce
And
yourself.
I
We
request.
need to know who you are. We don't know. That's
That is what I request all of you to join on that day also. My name is Gagarin.
Yeah.
I am a retired civil servant belonging to 1986 Civil Services Examination, retired from Ministry of Railways.
Thank you.
So I stand as both victim and accused here. So I ask from the point of view of the fellows who are accusing us, even though we are in the victim place now. The first thing is, will the equity committees and related mechanisms strengthen inclusion without creating new forms of exclusion, misunderstanding, or social division? That is what their complaint actually. Second, also related to this only, how will investigations ensure fairness, prevent false complaints at, and protect rights of both the complainant and the accused, as in fact both these are projected as grievances of the petitioners? How do we respond to them in these both the cases? Because many general friends are also asking this.
Yeah,
No,
just I want to just to say, sir is the biggest advocate of this regulation and anti. So if you ask question, right, don't ask like questioning the sir, right? Sir is not the
No, no, no,
judge
no. I
there,
am not
but
questioning.
I
It
know, I
means
know.
when
Just I'm
somebody,
just clarifying. He's the biggest, advocate and supporter, right? So in that sense, you need to ask the question. But I think you asked the right question only. I'm just clarifying. So sir can respond. Yeah, Thoratji, please.
because the general people are asking us, so
Correct, correct.
how to respond to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's
yeah.
simple.
Your first question is not clear, but let me answer. See, the objective is to promote equity and social inclusion. Now, two strategies are suggested under the Act, under the regulation. One is to provide a protection to the student who suffer from discrimination. Now, what is the procedure? That if you think that you are discriminated, you can file a complaint to the equity committee. Equity committee will inquire into it. They will also have an assistance of a lawyer, and they will inquire into it and find out the validity of the complaint. If it is proved, then there will be a punishment. If it is not proved, then they communicate to the complainant that you have made a complaint, but it is not proved beyond a doubt. There is no sufficient evidence. That is one way, one strategy. Second strategy is to sensitize the student about the problem of caste discrimination, gender discrimination, racial discrimination. Racial discrimination being faced by the northeastern student when they come into the North India education institutions. So sensitization through workshop, through discussion, through posterization. So that is the purpose, is to bring the student together, understand, each of one of them can understand properly, and develop a feeling of compassion and support. That is social inclusion. So this is the way, and this is the method that has been followed. Now the second question is what you are saying about the false cases and all that. Now the petitioner has not specifically mentioned false cases, but in the public domain they have mentioned that there will be a false cases by the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe against the high caste. uh, Now, this is very unfounded argument. They are assuming that scheduled caste will false cases. Why should scheduled caste file a false cases? As I said earlier, that from 2012 to 2020, 24, 11 year, there has not been a single false cases filed by the scheduled caste. Why should they fall? They are weak. They are not very strong as the high caste are there. And why should they fall? There may be sometime very, very exceptional case. So I don't see there is any ground or any argument or suspicion, fear by the high caste that they will form the file a false case. On the contrary, I must share with you, on the contrary, in case of atrocity act, it has been found that it is the high caste who are the victim, who are not victim, who are the discriminator. They are filing false cases against the victim. So that, this is arm twisting of the poor victim, especially on the gender issue, and 100 200 mile away from his place of residence, so that he will have to travel and all that, just to harass, to withdraw the cases. So this is not a very valid assumption. Now the last point in this, that for example, it is found that the complaint has not been proved. Now the complainant feel that he has been defamed, but because of this complaint, that I was alleged, there was allegation of discrimination. Then the complainant has a way out. Under IPC, Indian Penal Code, there is a provision of defamation. So he or she can file a defamation case against those who have made a complaint. But you cannot assume it, and you cannot have the same provision in the same act.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to take a moment. I think we have apologies. We have 100 participant limit, and we are not able to dynamically. We purchased actually 500 one time thing, but unfortunately, we need to restart the meeting. That is not going to happen. But apologies if anybody, I know they are not here, but I want to tell. But I also just want to acknowledge a couple of very important people that, and at least I feel, respect. They're highly respected individuals. One is Akunuri Murli Garu, who is here. Sir Akunuri Murli, who is the chairman of Telangana Education Commission and a retired IAS officer. He's actually traveling, but he's been listening patiently. So then I have Professor Lakshminarayan, who is a ex-registrar of Usmania University, and he's been a dean and is at Usmania University. And the Professor Padmaja Garu, retired from Padmaja Shah, Usmania, a journalism professor, a very, very active social worker in Hyderabad and Telugu states. So thank you all for joining. Okay, and actually we got Dr. Chinnaya Jangam. A lot of probably people in the U.S. know. Chinnaya Jangam is a prolific scholar and writer of Ambedkar thought. So I just want to acknowledge them. So anybody next? Okay, we'll go here.
No, ask the
Rai.
question.
Yeah. Please go ahead, Rai.
So, Professor Thorat Garu, thank you for coming to this very important.
Also take the question by Mallikarjun later on.
Yes, we'll be next. We'll go next.
Professor Thorat Garu, thank you so much. This is the timing of this topic. Your time is so precious. And also thanks to Boston Study Group, Venkat Madhu, Sanjay Bhagat and team. So, Thorat Garu, I have two parts question. First part is, what is your legacy? We need more Thorats. These issues are not going to end in our lifetimes. I request you to share your legacy, to continue this fight. And the second part of the question is, the legal aspects of this issue is in progress and also politically polarized. And what is your message to the community? How we create a counter narrative for these protests? Thank you, sir.
You are asking my legacy. I will only say that about 2-3 months before, I have brought out 3 books. And one is Economic Casteism, along with my son, Amit Thorat. He is carrying my legacy in a way. So
Thank you, sir.
economic discrimination, that is how the market and the government perpetuate inequality. And there is other book that is Confronting the Caste, my academic journey in search of equity and dignity. And then there is one book on me. There are 20-25 articles. Now, in the second book, Academic Journey, I have sort of 15-20 pages in the introduction is an autobiographical account. I think I will only say, because we don't have a time, I will say the legacy is what I have done, I can share with you. It is up to the others who can. I have not entered into politics, but I have remained into academics. And through the academics, I have tried to address the problem of marginalized group. What I have done is I interacted participate at 2 levels. One is to undertake research, understand the problem, and indicate the solution. That I have done. And there are a couple of examples whereby I have influenced the policy of the government, and government has taken the policy. And when I was in power, I introduced certain policies which has brought a significant change. For example, the reservation in the procurement, reservation in purchases by the government from the SC, ST business person, that procurement policy, which is there in USA also, that was because of my effort and Harshdeep Kamble, and it was the minister who took the decision. Similarly, when I was the chairman of the UGC, I introduced this Rajiv Gandhi Fellowship, which is renamed now as a National Fellowship for PhD. Thousands and thousands of students have been benefited, and many of them are now doing PhD. These are some of the examples.
I personally know Rajiv Gandhi Fellowships, how they helped hundreds of students at Usmania University. Firsthand I know. Professor Beena Madam, probably when you were ICSR chairman, she was the chairman for South India. She used to really say so many good things about that program. So thank you for doing that, sir. Yeah.
Also, we have made a recommendation to the Ministry of Rural Development about how to improve the participation of the Dalit women in Panchayat. So there are some of the examples, and there may be other example also. I think on Google there is a write-up about how many policy intervention. So this is the role that I have played as an academician. Undertake research on the problem of marginalized group, find out the causes, make the suggestion, and professor would stop there by writing. But I haven't stopped there. I have went ahead and pursued with the government, became a part of their committees and all that, and try to convert it to policy. And that has brought a change, very small change, selective change, but you have a satisfaction that you have brought a change. This is one thing. Second thing is that I have been not an academician, but also an active academician, activist in a way, not political person, but activist. And so participate in a public domain in number of ways and help the people to understand the problem, help them to organize. Then I set up a research institute along with Martin McQuan, and that take a lot of research and brought a visibility to the problem, not only of scheduled caste, but scheduled tribe, religious minorities, women, Dalit women. Uh, so this is the way that I have done. But I think feel that the good people should go into the politics. Because politics is very important. Politics means what? You get a power. You are a member of the parliament, and if your party get into power, then you can bring policies which bring transformation. That is very important. The I think the one of the contribution of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar is that he was not continuously a minister, but whatever he has done through his movement is that he compelled the government, pursued the government to develop policies. So the policy of, say, for example, reservation in legislature, in public sector job, and education institution, now the policies of procurement, this has brought a tremendous change. Not very it has not eliminated the problem of untouchable altogether, but it has brought a change in the sense that there is a lower middle class and middle class which has appeared. So policy, if you are in power, you can bring a policy, and policy can transform the community. Therefore, I think the solution that you have asked me, that solution is to get the power through one way or other. As an academic, I have performed my role the way I share with you. But others can enter into politics and do acquire power, and do through acquiring power, you can do much more. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. You're a beacon of light.
For
You're
that
a beacon.
purpose, I will suggest that you have to build up a political party started by Dr. Ambedkar. Unless you have a political party, you join hand with other political party, come to power, and then take policies, and that result into transformation.
I agree.
Thank you, sir. We wish you good health, longevity.
Mallikarjun has been waiting patiently. So Mallikarjun, please go ahead. Can you just quick introduction, please, for those of us who.
Yep. Hi, sir. So this is Mallikarjun from Bangalore. So
can you speak a little louder, please? Your voice is yeah.
Okay.
Please
go ahead. Is it clear now?
Yes. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Myself, Mallikarjun. I'm from Bangalore. So yeah, basically I'm from Telangana, Warangal district, but I settled in Bangalore. So working here for the past 20 plus years. Okay. So my basic question are maybe kind of it's not against to anything. I just have a doubt on this. So how do you can you clarify? So the question is, many people are arguing the false cases, right? I just even Googled that in 2023 there is a case. Somebody has filed an SCST atrocity case, and the High Court got ruled out. It's a misuse of SCST case. The land was sold by 50 years back by his father, and the son filed a SCST atrocity case on the current owner of that land. So then High Court declared it's a abusing or like the misuse of the case. So there are some maybe 3 or 5 cases. This case I'm talking about Rafiq Lal Patel versus State of Karnataka in August 2023. There is another case even the Karnataka High Court, Villa Bora Malaji Uspal versus State of Karnataka. There are like some other 3-4 cases. Maybe it's a bunch, not maybe you can count it in on a finger, right? So, but how do we balance it out? The misuse, even I know that there are very 5 or 10 cases, but the valid cases are more, maybe in hundreds. As you said, some groom is not able to use.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Am I clear, sir?
Yeah. Speak louder like this now. A little bit. You were going up and down. Yeah.
Oh,
Just
okay.
conclude the question. Quickly ask the question.
So how do you balance it out, the false cases and between the valid cases, right? The false cases may dilute the law, right? So how can you like balance it out, these false and because valid cases are more, but the false cases are minimal, and the court is using the false cases as the base for them and diluting this is diluting this entire law, and equity is not possible with this, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think the question is well heard. So, Thorat ji.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that the false case is a major issue, which has been mentioned by even those who opposed.
Yeah.
These are by those who are ideologically motivated. See, there is Indian Penal Code, and there is a punishment for certain act. There also there can be a scope for false cases. You have sexual harassment acts. There is a case for the scope for the false cases. There is a gender discrimination, scope for false cases against the husband. So in every law, there is a scope that somebody might misuse it, but the extent and possibility of it is just the minimal. During the last 6, 7, 8 years, there are about how many cases? In 10 years, there are about 3 lakhs cases under atrocity. How many cases are there which are false cases? You can count on the finger. So I don't think it's an issue. It is these opponent, the agitated student are making a issue out of it. Now there will be some exception. I don't disagree with you, but there is a scope. You have Indian Penal Code. You can go that I was defamed. It has not been proved by the court, so you can file a defamation. So there is a way out for you, which will put the check for others not to file a false case. But that cannot be used as an argument against the act. If the wife sometimes file a case against the husband, or some girl file a case against the boy, that doesn't mean that you should not have a sex violation act or gender discrimination act. So this might happen in the minor cases.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually that's a very good question in a way. I think that is the argument of opponents, but you're right. I mean, everything is a possibility, but I think there's a way to deal with it, and there's a way to courts and laws are there, but the opponents make these small things a big issue. So now, Sanjay ji, you want to read questions from
Yeah,
here?
so there is
we have a long list of questions. We'll get through them
So I will
quickly.
take the questions in order.
Please
so
go ahead.
You want to ask the questions if you are available?
Yeah, your name is M here. Can you just tell your name and ask the question? Otherwise,
Okay.
let's
we
go
will
to
ask
Anil then. Anil ji, Anil.
No, we will ask his questions, and then we'll go ahead. So in case he doesn't want to ask the question in person. So the question, Thorat Sahib, is that will state government have some jurisdiction over the equity committee in case complaints are filed? Is it hypothetically possible for the state government to intervene on the behalf of the discriminated person?
Good question. Yeah.
No. See, the point is, under the regulation, there is an administrative mechanism which has been laid down in the regulation. Now, that administrative mechanism is that there is a equity committee, consists of 10 members, and that the person who feel that he or she discriminated, they can file a complaint to the equity committee. Equity committee can even associate lawyer if they want, and they, after the detailed scrutiny, then they form an opinion. If it is found correct, they accept it. If they found not correct, they reject it. And if they accepted it, then they make a recommendation for the civil punishment to the head of the department. Now, state government has no jurisdiction here. The state government comes in, not the state government. The UGC comes in. That UGC have a committee which will oversee. And that overseeing means that whether the institution has set up a equal opportunity cell, equity committee, and let down the mechanism, and that it is entertaining the complaint and all that. So that that UGC will certainly oversee it. And if some institutions are not doing it, there is a provision of punishment to this institution.
Yeah, I think that's a good question.
Not giving the grant or other concessions.
Anil, you are next. Would you like to ask your questions? I believe you have
Anil,
a question.
Anil Wagde. Hello, Anil.
Yeah, Jai Bhim, sir.
Jai Bhim.
Thanks. Sir, as some few people are joining the academic institutions, they are also facing the caste-based discrimination in promotions and annual confidential reports and things of that nature. Are they covered under these new guidelines? That's question number one. The second, the IITs and IIMs and some autonomous institutions are not covered by UGC guidelines. Is that true? Thanks.
Yeah, the first question we kind of answered, but again, yeah. Well, go ahead.
As far as the discrimination of the teacher and promotion and other is concerned, I don't think that is covered here. That comes under the rules and regulation of the university. Then there is a SC cell, SC cell, which deals with the reservation and recruitment. So there is a way out for the teacher to file a complaint through SC cell to the vice chancellor. If they don't entertain, then you have always a right to register a case under the Atrocity Act or Untouchability Offence Act. This is the provision. The second was the coverage of the institute. That's what you were saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, I think I told you the confusion. At one place it say all higher education institution. At other place it says that the institution under the Section 3 of the University Grant Commission Act, and under that act only universities and the colleges comes in. The IITs and IIM and other sort of institution, legally speaking, it doesn't cover. But if you ask UGC, they will say that no, all education institutes are covered. And I gave you two examples that when I visited IIT Mumbai and IIT Delhi, they say we are not covered under it. So there has to be clarity. That is why I say that there has to be regulation by the central government covering all education institutions under all the education, all the ministries.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have next Deepak Barkade. Deepak, would you like to ask the question yourself?
Mr. Deepak, are you there? Okay.
Okay,
Good
so
evening,
I will just read his question.
Wait. I think he's there. Yeah,
Okay.
Deepak, go ahead. Yeah, please.
Hello, sir. I just wanted to ask, since you are aware of 90s as well, like what has changed from Mandal Commission to the UGC bill? Do you think that there is any change in terms of response to this kind of casteist mobilization?
Your question is not clear to me, but let me answer the way I understand. See, Mandal Commission resulted into reservation for OBC in the central institutions, universities and IITs and in faculty and student reservation. So OBC is now has come under the category of reservation based on caste with a creamier concept. Now OBCs are also covered under the 2026 regulation of equity and promotion of equity. So the the regulations, equity regulation cover the OBC also.
Got it.
Okay, so the question was whether Dalits or Dalit organizations have really fought out the kind of stop at the UGC bill from Supreme
No.
Court.
Please spell out again properly what.
Yeah, I mean, I just pointed out that there were Dalit organizations which led a movement against these casteist forces during Mandal Commission protest from casteist society. So, has this happened in this time? Do you see that?
You are referring to Mandal Commission, which is a past story. What are you asking in the present?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, so in
Yeah,
present there would be
Deepakji, your question is not
mobilization.
clear. Can you little bit clarify that, please, quickly? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let me simplify. I'm just asking, has Dalit mobilization been a possibility to respond stay at UGC bill, which was introduced by central government?
No. The point is the bill is brought out by the University Grant Commission. Regulation, sorry, not bill. Regulation brought out by University Grant Commission.
Okay, sir.
Certain section of the student have not opposed the regulation altogether. They has asked for a change in the regulation. And
Savarnas also to be included if they are discriminated against caste. I don't know.
Of course,
Still find a way. Yeah.
Of course, they are misleading the people.
But
people like
they're
us.
covered, right? They're covered.
That you can call it. I cannot call it. Okay.
Yes, sir. So the point is, we do not see mobilization. We just do not see mobilization like we saw in Mandal Commission period. That's the point. So I was just asking, what are the reasons? Like, what changes this?
There is a mobilization by the Dalit student. It was in UP. It was in Bihar.
Oh yeah, a lot of protests. I mean, lot of
there was a response.
Very
strong
good
response.
Very good. Even Bihar, yeah.
Now I see. I just came today from a meeting wherein the Congress party, not Congress party, the OBC organization is now will have agitations throughout Maharashtra.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Okay, it's happening.
Move on.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we'll move on. Okay. So I think the Mallikarjun already asked this question.
Hari Prasad is next, Venkat. So
Hari Prasad.
Hari Prasad, if you're there, you can ask the question.
Yeah, Dr. Hari Prasad, you are here. Yeah, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I am from Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And I am retired as a software engineer scientist from TCS.
Okay, great.
And now I'm trying to pursue some professorships here.
Okay.
And my question is, of course, you just heard that you have written a book on economic discrimination as well. This is related to that because now most of the jobs are in private sector and the placements happen through institutes. And both private institute and private enterprise, they have an understanding that whom should we offer. And there is a lot of discrimination there happens, but it doesn't come to the light. Therefore, without opportunities, economic liberation, it is very difficult to come to a political to win the power as well, right? Therefore, how do we is this also addressed? Placements relating place discrimination during placements is also addressed in the regulation. It is considered as assumed. It's actually assumed. That's all, sir. Thanks, Thorat.
No, it doesn't include. It does not include the discrimination in the placement. See, the point is that the institution, based on the list merit, they put up the list, or they share the list with the private sector who come there for selecting the person. Now, apparently, it should be according to the merit list. Obviously, the private sector look at the merit and marks of the student irrespective of caste. But it's quite likely that there is some discrimination there, but I have not come across any study as such that there is a discrimination in the placement by the institution to the private sector. This number one. Number two, as far as the private sector is concerned, there is a lot of discrimination in employment, in hiring. And therefore, Dr. Ambedkar in the early stages has asked for the reservation in the private sector also, both for the wage worker as well as the business person. So there is a discrimination. In this book, Economic Casteism, there is a chapter on discrimination in employment. Discrimination has come out in hiring, in wages, in discrimination at the workplace. So that is there. But there is another book of mine which was published in 2010. That is Scheduled Caste and Labor Market, Discrimination and its Impact. There it came out that the private sector discrimination, private sector practice discrimination in hiring and even in the promotion after you have done hiring. So that need to be addressed, and there should be a reservation in the private sector.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
I believe we should take the last questions from Vara.
No. Let's take. I think Sanjay,
because it is
there are a
very
few
late.
more are
It
there.
is 10
Let's take
10
it.
p.m.
Let's
there.
take it. No. That's okay. We have only a couple more. Let's go quickly.
So we have to consider Professor Thorat also.
No.
It is
It's
10
okay. It's okay.
p.m.
So, no, that's not going to be here. I think we have a few more only. See, I think this Vara, it's a very long question, but
you
I
can
think
take the question as long as you want. I'm here to.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Let's do that. It's see, Vara. Can you ask this very briefly? Or Vara is there? I think it dropped out. So let me ask. I think what the essence of this question is. Yeah.
Sir, I'm here.
Please.
Thank you so much for organizing this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Respected Professor Thorat, sir. So we were just thinking, because there is this kind of an protest which is happening against the UGC regulations. How about we bringing up a study on the different kinds or different forms of discrimination faced by the SC/ST OBC students, scholars, and faculty? Maybe a case study from a particular central university or 2 or 3 central universities in the Congress ruling states presently, Telangana, Karnataka, or Himachal Pradesh, because there's a possibility we can take up a study there. And then how about bringing up this documentation? Because how do we define what is the form of a discrimination faced by the marginalized communities in these higher education institutions? So this documentation may help. The identities can be kept anonymous, but the narratives of the cases or the stories, the survival cases, and all these things, if the documentation happens, that report or that study can give a huge, it can be a huge data resource, which can be used for eminent people like you to analyze on different mechanisms and all. See, committees, there will be a lot of committees.
Varaji, I think we got that question. We have to move on. But
yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good question. Before Professor Thoratji answers, I can give you, it's way back when in like 2007, 8 time frame, I also was associated with some of these efforts. We used to have an inside group at JNU led by Anup Kheri, who is actually Anup Kumar, who is now leading this Nalanda effort in Maharashtra, in Wardha. So he has first actually documented some of the students, atrocities that happened in at least higher education that time, and it was also later funded by Ford Foundation. So there was some effort, but it was a long time back. But I think that just want to add to that. I mean, add that because I have a first-hand experience of that. So Sukhadeo Thoratji, you can please respond to that as well.
No, the the suggestion to undertake a study on discrimination faced by the student and the teacher, particularly by the student on the higher education campuses, well, it's a good suggestion, but there is a lot of evidence now. See, my committee, Thorat committee, has brought out the discrimination on the campus. Then, when I became the chairman of ICSR, the study was sponsored by NUPA, National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, which took couple of state university, couple of colleges in different state, and it came out a substantial evidence on discrimination. Then Sukumar, who is a professor of political science in Delhi University, I had given him a grant to undertake study on discrimination. He has studied central and the state university and came with a very clear empirical evidence. Then the most important thing is, because these are private studies, they do not share, but they have shared with me. The IIT Mumbai has done a lot of surveys internally about the nature and forms of discrimination. So I think there is enough evidence now on the discrimination being faced by the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe student. There is not much on the OBC student. There is not much on the Muslim student. There is not much on the discrimination faced by northeastern student in the education institution in the northern India, or there is not much on the discrimination based on color. So there is certainly a scope of undertaking a study. But as far as the scheduled caste students are concerned, there is enough evidence.
Okay, thank you. So let's move on. Okay, Murali, I think this is
most of them are the comments.
comments. Yeah. Vinod Sant and Vinod Sant retired from the presently freelancing. Okay, introduction. The post.
Rajesh has posted the question. I don't know whether he has asked the same questions or it is the new one.
Yeah, Rajesh Sonekar, you asked the question. I think it's a. Yeah, let's move on. He had a chance. So this one.
Actually, sorry.
Yeah.
It was, I forgot that because this VBSA bill is now coming.
Yeah, can you quickly ask then what is VBSA bill? Please go ahead and ask.
Yeah, it is a Vikasit Bharat Section Stand bill, which is related to the higher studies and other educational front, and it will soon be replaced by UGC. So UGC will be no more longer in coming to 2, 3, 4 months. So how this our agitation about regulations is going, and how this VBSA bill will impact, and what are our efforts going into UGC? Will those be rolled back, or again there will be some different agitations and other things?
Right. I think it's a good question because they're all merging these institutions of whatever, I don't know, UGC and IICT or ICT, whatever, right? Yeah, got it. So Thoraji, you probably it would be.
Oh, they have brought out a draft bill whereby now there is a one higher education council. The name is in Hindi, and there are 4 verticals. At the moment, there are 3 verticals. One is UGC, which will be giving funding. Then NAC, which is in Bangalore, they will look after the quality. Then there will be one agency, you can call it department or agency, which will regulate, frame the regulation. And there is one more, I believe. What is happening is that the different institution which is created by Ministry of Education for funding, for regulation, for quality assessment, and other, they have been now brought together under a one authority. Now this regulation, which we are talking about, 2012 regulation, they will be certainly operated by the agency which will be in charge of the university system and college system and regulating them.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So who is this real me? You want to? I don't know. We don't know your name. Okay, I think that's the last one, right?
Yeah, that is the comment again. It is not the question.
Comment, okay. Okay, so anybody else? I think it was a great session, and Great participation.
If you allow me, I can speak to the Thorat sir.
Who is this?
This is Srinu, a PhD student in one of the IIT.
Yeah, you can raise the hand. Okay, go ahead and ask. Yeah, please.
Sorry for not raising the hand. Sir, discrimination happens. See, what I understood, discrimination happens within the caste also. Is there any, is there any fine for the people who discriminate the same caste people?
That's not caste
same caste discrimination by the scheduled caste student within themselves.
Yeah. Within the yeah.
But that's
I
not
don't
discrimination.
I don't think discrimination happen. There may be differential treatment,
exactly,
but not the discrimination
that's
based on
caste discrimination.
Because they are belonging to the same caste and they suffer similar caste and untouchability based discrimination. Differential treatment,
you
can call it, and
differential. It doesn't come under the discrimination, even though there are a lot of variations. No, so okay.
It doesn't come under this. These are interpersonal harassments, you can call it.
Yeah.
And will there be any action on that?
The concept of discrimination you must understand.
Yeah.
Discrimination is of a group. Discrimination doesn't relate to individual.
Yeah, got it.
It relates to individual, but it relates to the individual in a group. So discrimination by one group of the other group, high caste of a low caste, male discrimination of female, white discriminate black. So discrimination is always defined as a differential treatment by one group towards other group. Now within the scheduled caste, there can be a different kind of treatment and behavior between the individual because they belong to same group. So that cannot be called different. Yeah, that's the different, because they are also making the same argument. They are saying that high castes are discriminated. High caste individual might be facing a differential treatment by the administration, but that is individual based, not caste based.
Correct.
Actually, I had complained regarding discrimination, but I was scolded and I was thrown out of the institute because I complained. It happened with me.
That's
tell me.
But I think it's clear. It's individual level, right? Yeah.
It happened long ago, but I don't want to.
There can be within the scheduled caste, between the subcaste, there can be some discrimination at some level.
No, it's not about within the caste, but I had complained on the upper caste person who discriminated and with whom I had quarrel.
Then what happened?
What happened? I was scolded and I became.
Was it related to caste?
It's caste and discrimination. Yeah.
But if it's a different caste, then you can claim caste discrimination, right? If it's
not related to the caste, then it's not. Then it doesn't fall into the regulation or even the Atrocity Act. See, in fact, in Atrocity Act, the person who discriminate must be high caste, and who face discrimination must be low caste.
Yeah.
That is there.
Okay, Sinu, let's move on. Okay, Kiran.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Kiran Kumar, you have a question? Yeah, go ahead and ask, please. Hello, Kiran. You're not speaking. Okay, I think we have a question from the chat. I will read this. Do you think? Yeah.
Sorry, is it audible?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah. Come on, guys. Yeah. Please go.
I'm Kiran Kumar. I am from University of Hyderabad, presently leading All India OBC Students Association. So I have a couple of questions. One is regarding, can organizations file discrimination cases on behalf of students who are actually facing discrimination? That is one question we wanted, because can there be a collective form of representation on any kind of discrimination that is happening in the campus? Second, we also request you because I think next month the hearing is coming up. So maybe we have been reading your articles and your works. A crisp points on what are the suggestions or maybe the what are the changes that are required for the UGC regulation 2026 that made it effective for to implement in the campus.
Okay, the first question is, I think my understanding is that because I am not a law person, see, there is a person who practice discrimination and there is a person who face discrimination. So it is individual to individual based. A group can file a complaint about a person against another person, but I do not know whether the organization can. So there has to be a person who discriminate and there has to be a person who is discriminated. That is the provision of a law. The second, you have asked me the improvement. You have to read my article on Hindustan Time. That was the first article. See, I wrote 3 articles. Hindustan Time, I have pointed out the lacuna in the 2026 regulation and suggested certain measure. The New Indian Express is, of course, the also covered that, but deal with the argument of those who opposed it. And the article which has come in Telegraph is about the limitation of the argument made by the Supreme Court judges and also by opposite organization. Now there is an article coming in the Outlook. So please read this article in Hindustan Times, the first article. That gives the suggestion that I have made. And I have, in my course of discussion, I have also mentioned what improvements are necessary in the 2026 Act. With those improvements, the act should, the bill should be, the regulation should be accepted and implemented properly.
Okay, thank you. I think Kiran Kumar, introduction. So you are a PhD student and you are secretary for All India OBC Student Association, right? Right, Kiran? Hello. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry, I think there is some problem. Yeah, yes, sir. I am now the national president for All India OBC
Yeah,
Students Association.
exactly. I just want to acknowledge properly. I know about
petition
it.
next month.
Yeah.
We are on the
Yeah.
process.
Thanks for joining and asking the question. Okay, so we have we have 2 questions in the chat. I think we'll go through them and we'll conclude now. Okay, that will be a very quick. One question, sir, from again Deepak Barkhade. I'll just read just for make it faster. Do you think increase in the number of public institutions can moderate the conflict from casteist groups? Can Dalit Bahujan people demand separate institutions citing atrocities? I don't know. you,
Separate institution for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe?
I think that's what he meant to buy, but yeah, you're.
No, I don't think so. I think there should not be separate institution. That will be separate with equal policy.
Correct.
The institution should be mixed, and there should be effort that the student who are on the campus behave equally and respect each one right and freedom.
Yeah, at the elementary public school, I mean, like primary school education, yes, we have actually in both Telugu states we have these residential schools for social welfare, which actually produce a lot of good results. I think at that primary education level, probably makes I'm a big proponent of them because you need to
There are hostels which are separate.
Yeah, exactly. I think that helped a lot for these communities. Yeah.
But also,
But
they are staying in a hostel which is mixed hostel. That will also help them.
Yeah.
But there is
But
a
at the
scope
higher
that
education, no, I do not.
they might face discrimination. But as a matter of policy, you cannot have a separate school or colleges for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes separately and OBC separately. There are hostels. You go to Allahabad University. Allahabad University has a hostel by the caste, by the Muslim, by the Christian.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And even Mysore University, because the government of India has a scheme to construct the hostel for the scheduled caste. So that is why in some of the university have constructed the hostel for the scheduled caste, and Ministry of Tribal has, I also got the fund when I was a faculty in JNU. I also got fund from the Ministry of Social Welfare for constructing hostel, but I told them that I would not construct the separate hostel for the scheduled caste. I will construct the hostel and all students will stay there. What I guarantee you is that all the scheduled caste students will be placed in that hostel.
Yeah.
So the similar hostels are separate hostels are there. Kayastha, Yadav, and others in Bihar.
That's difficult. Yeah. Okay, so next question. University of Pune decided to give credits to students who works during Kumbh Mela at Nasik in 2027. Is it correct? Your views on this? Then such credits then may be given to students if they work at Chaitya Bhumi or in Wari of Pandharpur, Maharashtra. So they given credits to when students worked in Kumbh Mela. Wow, that's interesting. I never. So I don't know, sir, can comment on this. That's pretty, silly thing
No,
that
no,
they've done.
you
Whoever
will
has
have to
done
have a
that.
separate. No, no. You will have to have.
I
You will
know.
have to have a separate lecture on Brahmanization of the higher education and school education.
Okay. Yeah, that's very sad. Okay, I think maybe this is the last one. What is the possibility separate caste discrimination
How
from
Brahmanism
other?
is being promoted now through education.
Right.
And
I think you're frozen, sir. Okay. Some of your connection. Yeah, now I think you're back. Okay. I think this is the last one. What is the possibility of separating caste discrimination from other form of discrimination? Because merging with other form is kind of diluting law. I think this is the probably a good question. We can conclude with this, sir. Any comments? Saying, why caste
Can you say
discrimination?
it again?
See,
Yeah, your
what
connection is a
possibility
little
of
bit unstable, Thorat Sahib.
Now he is okay, I think. Can you hear us,
No,
sir?
see, the video is basically, if you look at that one.
Now he is okay. Now he is
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead now.
So what is I'm doing is mixing this, caste discrimination with other forms of discrimination might diluting the caste discrimination law. Should we, ask for separating the caste discrimination from other forms of discrimination? But I do not know. So that's the question.
Because see, the discrimination other form means the gender, color, and place. It is
I didn't
everywhere.
understand the question again, but if I understand correctly,
Sir, okay, 1 second. Actually, Sirasu, yeah, please go ahead and ask, sir. Okay.
See, because discriminations are many forms,
Yeah.
and caste discrimination is unique in India, particularly. So if you merging with gender, color, place, right? So that is also a form of diluting the law, because this is very serious caste discrimination. So how we can segregate it and make two different laws on the caste discrimination? Is that possibility is there? How you can work on that area, Thoratji?
Yeah, you are right.
Connection is
But
problem with the connection.
you
What to do?
to see, there is a discrimination is a common category. I wonder which the caste.
I think he can drop the video. That is one option.
Yeah, maybe,
Just
sir,
audio should be. Yeah.
maybe we'll do video.
Religious discrimination can mean, but the forms of discrimination, nature of therefore the nature of discrimination and forms of discrimination of each of the.
Yeah, there's a delay also.
Yeah. Thorat Sahib,
Thorat Sahib, आपका internet some problem. We were going on and off actually. Is it better now or?
Yeah.
तुमचा video off करा for some time and let's see just
Yeah,
audio.
I'll try to stop the video. Let me see. Yeah, Thorat Sahib, can you speak now, please?
Yeah, so I had shared that the caste discrimination and discrimination associated with the other identities will have to be included in the general definition. But at the same time, since the source and nature of discrimination vary between the categories, caste, gender, race, they are different. They are discrimination, but their nature and forms and even sources of discriminations are different. They will have to be listed separately. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, got it. I think, with that, we should be concluding. Uh, Sir, actually, I'm trying to start your video. You can now just try to start your video. Yeah, so I want to really, really thank Professor G. I know he's been in a lot of demand because he is the supreme authority on this topic, and so he's been invited to a lot of places. So I'm really happy that, and it's also very late for him, in India. And thanks for sparing this valuable time, and really have a lively discussion. And also the audience, thank you very much. Those who joined from US, it's a very early, morning for some of the central and west coast people. And then we had more than 100 people. We couldn't accommodate. Actually, we had a little bit of a challenge. But anyway, this is actually the topic that is getting deserve recognition, and I think our communities are responding properly. I've seen a lot of protests in a lot of in support of the regulation, and I think as NRIs we will do whatever we can to express solidarity and try to preserve and support this regulation. And again, Jai Bhim to everyone, and thank you for your participation, and thank you, Thorat ji. That was really